All right, here we go. Luenell, welcome back to VladTV.
Thank you, Vlad.
And for those that are wondering why she hasn't been on here for a while, it's because of your surgery.
Yes. I spent 4 months of the last 14 months in Texas at my sister's house to recover from knee replacement surgery on my left knee replacement surgery on my right knee. It was very successful. I'm very glad I did it.
So you have new knees?
I do. Everything else is the same.
Okay, so is it made out of some sort of material, or is it actual bone, or what is it?
No, it's made out of like a plastic, like a hard plastic, like, I don't know what they call it, fiberglass maybe even, and a little metal.
Okay, so you're like the bionic woman right now.
Well, I was bionic before, but
You can jump on buildings, on roofs
I'm not
stuff
doing none of that. I'm not doing no Megan stuff. I'm not doing none of that, but I'm walking long distances when I wasn't doing that before.
Great news. Great news. I'm very happy for you.
Me too.
Well, I don't think we can start this interview without talking about Coming to America 2, which you were in.
Yes.
I couldn't wait to watch it. I watched it a few times. Maybe about 4 times altogether, because I got to watch it, and then like some of my friends who hadn't watched it, I'd watch it with them, and then I watched the end over and over again. And I'm going to say, and a lot of people argue with me on this, I'm going to say it's a classic.
Well, a lot of people will argue with you over that, and they'll have to argue with me too, because I agree. I mean, this is the first thing I've ever done where I really just don't care what anybody has to say. I know the experience that I had doing the film. I know the icons that I got to be immortalized with. My grandchildren, whenever I have them, will be able to see this film. You know, the fact that there were so many icons 33 years later that were able to return to the film, except for of course, the great Madge St. Clair, who played Prince Hakeem's mother. But as you see, they inserted her in the film, which they did a lot of flashing back, which sort of tied the old film to the new film.
Right.
But to be in that atmosphere of doing this and having watched it for so many years, and then now you're involved with it, and to your right is Rick Ross, and to your left is Tiana Taylor, and over there is Ruth Carter, the first Black woman to win the Oscar for wardrobe, and who has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and then to, you know, work with Eddie and Arsenio, and to go to work on Tyler Perry's studio every day, and have so much pride in going past the Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee soundstage, the Whoopi Goldberg soundstage, the Halle Berry soundstage, the Oprah Winfrey soundstage, Sidney Poitier, you know, Cicely Tyson. It was just a prideful moment. So it was so much so, and my daughter is in the film as well.
Oh,
She's one of the dancers behind Tiana with the flute. And Eddie had his daughter Bella in the film. Wesley had his son, he might have had 2 children in the film. It was just a happy, wonderful, exciting experience that I'll never forget. And that is why, for me, it doesn't matter what anybody has to say negative. I know what it meant for me.
Right, because people are always going to compare it to the first.
Yeah.
Is it as good as the first? It's hard to be as good as the first because they're introducing all these characters for the first time ever. So it's hard to compete with that.
Yeah.
But is it a classic film by itself? Yes.
Plus, the first film had to catch on around the United States and Europe and stuff like that. But this one started out already being anticipated because we had real African actors in the film. You know, like Nomzamo Mbata, I think I'm saying her name right. Nomzamo Mbata is the young lady who played the character that married Lavelle, you know,
right.
the wife at the end, the queen at the end. And she's from Africa, and she's a very noted Neutrogena spokesperson, and she has charities, and she's like everything, and some of the musicians and other people. So it was just so international and so great. This is a wonderful experience for me.
Well, there was a few people that weren't in it that were still alive from the first one.
Yeah.
Lisa McDowell's sister.
Right. Don't know what happened to her.
Because she was an actress still after that movie. She showed up in a few roles here and there.
Yeah, but nobody knows what they are.
Okay.
But we know that she was in that movie, and that is a question. What happened to her? Don't know.
And then the Soul Glow guy.
Well, you have to think this 32 years later, and she's been married for 32 years. So why would her boyfriend...
Yeah, you're right. I guess there's no reason to actually have him.
No, it was nostalgic enough, though, to still see his Soul Glow advertisement in the barbershop.
In the barbershop, right.
And I think there was a Soul Glow commercial playing on a television on the street.
Right.
So he got represented, but, there was some, I think, scheduling issues because he's directing now and stuff like that. Even though I think that's bullshit, because why wouldn't you want to be in it in any capacity? You
just flying for a day or something.
Yeah, maybe do it for a day. And then also Sam Jackson.
Right. And there's just no reason for him to be in there because he was the robber.
Well, actually, it was to be that he was going to now be the owner of that McDowell's.
Oh.
And that Louis Anderson was going to be like this manager or whatever like that. But I don't know what happened to Sam, but that's what the plot was. That Sam was going to be he was now the McDowell's that he once tried to rob, he would now own it.
Okay. Well, it was great. And especially the part at the very end with, was it Randy Watson?
Yes.
Doing We Are Family.
Yes.
I watched that.
That boy can sing.
When he came out and you're like, stop playing.
Everybody was crossing their fingers about Randy Watson.
Right, because I watched the whole movie. I'm like, they have to have Randy Watson. And they're like, yo, what's going on? Like, I was about to be just pissed if that movie ended without Randy Watson. I would have got right on Twitter and started hating on Eddie.
Well, thank God.
Thank God that didn't happen, or else I would have just thrown the whole movie, to oblivion if I did that.
Everybody was waiting for Randy Watson.
Right. Randy Watson came through.
He's the original mic drop,
The original mic drop, and then they had the twin girls do the little rap at the end. Yeah, and you were kind of twerking on the royal announcer, whatever his name is. Mm-hmm. Great film. Great film. Anyone who has seen the first one, regardless of what you heard other people say, you have to watch this one. You have to watch it. And it was like the #1 streaming movie in America for quite a while.
Yes.
Dope. Congrats. Now, were there more speaking parts that you had that hit the cutting room floor?
Yes, there were definitely scenes that didn't make the movie. Definitely.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll say that.
Okay.
Because some of the complaints were that, in that one scene when Prince Hakeem and Simi came to get his son, at that one point there was like 8 comics in one room. You had Arsenio, and you had Eddie, you had Jermaine Fowler, you had Tracy Morgan, myself, Nav Green, Rodney Perry, and Leslie Jones. That's 7 comics in one room. A lot of people were like, that scene should have been funnier, could have been funnier. But, it is what it is. I'm not mad. I don't care. I'm not like, they didn't use me like they should have used me. I'm fine. Okay?
You're fine. You're fine. Yeah. Well, let me just say, Leslie Jones killed it.
Best performance she's ever done.
I would say that.
Ever.
I would say that. I would agree with you. The best performance,
and I knew
Leslie
it
Jones. Yeah, Leslie Jones. I think that's a very fair statement right there.
That's
best
a very
performance
fair
she's
statement.
ever done.
Absolutely.
Tracy Morgan killed it.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes pretty much starred in it. I mean, I felt like he was like the star of the film.
Oh my God, he was so funny. He said, "Look at you, Prince Hakeem."
He said, "Whose auntie is this?"
Yeah. Yeah, Wesley was amazing, and we really enjoyed him behind the scenes too.
Oh, I bet.
Rick Ross was charming and amazing, and I've always heard things about him about that. I'm like, Rick, whatever. And then I got into his orb, and he is charming and amazing. And, you know, John Amos, of course, I fell deeply in love with John Amos. I felt like I had met my real father. I cried when I met him. You know, we became really good friends after that, as you know.
Right.
We did the interview for Vlad.
Right.
And then he and I also worked in Tracy's show, The Last OG. We did a big episode of that, directed by Robert Townsend.
Nice.
And we've done other things. They're trying to get me to get on TikTok with him. I got to draw the line somewhere.